Emily, before you came on, I told them that I saw the film in Sundance. I was at Sundance when I saw the film at the early morning session, and I was a huge. It was my favorite, and I'm not saying this just because y'all here, but I told Chandler this as well, like weeks ago. It was my favorite film at 2020 Sundance. It was cutting. It was hard. That beat that came on after Kyle drew up, like, yo, I was into it. Like at that point, I'm looking like, okay, what's happening here? And then that beat dropped, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. I buckled up, and I was in. So I appreciate you guys, man, for real, like real story, true. So my name is Ty, absolutely. So my name is Ty Cooper. I'm at the Virginia Film Festival. We are here with the amazingly talented individuals who created the hit film called Dinner in America. We have the writer-director here. We have two of the stars, writer-director Adam Rehmeier. We have Cal Gallner, who played Simon, and we have the one and only Emily Skeggs, who played Patty. All right, Patty, and I mean, y'all gonna really enjoy this film once y'all see it. It was my favorite. I saw it in January, and to get prepared for this discussion, I saw it, I think 6 times, back to back, yeah, twice, yeah, back to back twice. Skipped a couple of days, watched it again, watched it, someone else, my significant other, and then you gotta do that, so, and I'm like, yo, she fell asleep though, right? It was late. She go to sleep at 10 o'clock. So I started watching at 9:30. But then every time the music came on, I blow it up. Like I turn it up, she go, what's going on? Yeah, I'm mean like that sometimes. It's just what I do, man.
That's amazing.
But congrats to all of you though for an amazing job. Like I said, I saw the film in Park City. It was amazing. For me, it was a sneaker film though, because I didn't know what it was about. I picked up the tickets. You know how you do at Sundance, you get what you can get, right? Stuff sold out. And I worked with the festival too. So, and I sat there and, was just getting ready. It was early morning. So I was dedicated.
Yeah, you have to be.
I was very dedicated, 8:30 in the morning. I was very dedicated. Man, and I was blown away. I mean, I was blown away. It was just so real, so hard cutting. And it was a love story. Like, I didn't expect that neither. It was a love story. You know what I mean? So it was amazing, man. The music, Adam, you did a great job.
Sorry, I hung up.
That's okay. It's okay. Emily just talked about you, how usually you're the one that's late and she's early. So, but yeah, nah. But Adam, before I get started though into like the film, I really think you're a genius, man. At least a filmmaking genius. Like, didn't you start your career as like a cam operator, or? Yeah,
no, I continue to shoot and stuff. It's really important to me to keep. It's just like I equate it to jazz a lot of times, keeping your chops and like playing with a group of people. So shooting's always been important to me on whatever medium I'm using, whether it's an iPhone or something a little bit fancier, but it's important to keep, the juices flowing and to keep shooting and constantly be shooting and editing. So I still do all of that today. I mean, I consider myself a gun for hire. So when I can make a film like Dinner in America, it's all about craft for me and the art, but I'll do, I have a family and I have 3 boys. So a lot of times you have to do what you have to do to survive.
So what was the transition like, from, being so technical, like, holding, with the camera operator, doing that kind of stuff, like DP type of stuff, and then transitioning over to writer and director? Because that was,
they all work together at the same time. So for me, there's no difference really in doing one or the other. It's all storytelling. So when I'm operating a camera, it's storytelling moment to moment and working with the actor too, because there's a lot of things. It's a dance that you do with actors. There's spatial. It's a spatial dance, and if you're off just an inch here or an inch there, things don't work. the same way. So, you know, it's all one thing. Like whether you're operating a camera or you're on the other end and you're in editorial, like your POV may shift a little bit, but the energy is the thing that I'm focused on. So the energy is the same whether I'm writing, whether I'm shooting, whether I'm editing, and the directing is probably the most invisible of those four elements right there. You know, it's just more. I mean, the kids can maybe talk about how that is when you know, at least from the perspective of how we worked on the film, but I try to make that part the invisible part, you know, the part with some bit of magic to it. So there's things you can say, and then there's things that you can just feel. But for this project, you know, the emotional aspect of it was always going to hinge on the music, and if the music was actually good. Because if Kyle goes the whole movie and we see him actually perform and the music stinks when he performs, then he loses all credibility. The same with Emily and the song. If we go all this way to this point and this girl like kind of reveals her soul to us and it's just sort of marginal, that doesn't help anything. So, you know, for us in this particular project, super important up front in our rehearsal period to record the actual music, have that reference point to where we were going, and then, you know, work our way up to it with this, you know, having the reference points like a slingshot. You pull it back and you let it go to that point. So, yeah. So, you know, each project is totally different. You know, I like to work in different ways, and depending on how an actor likes to work too, you never know with what actor needs might be. But Emily and Kyle were super chill and easy to work with, and we just like vibe right away and let that, you know, let the energy, our collective energy, show us kind of what to do in the rehearsal process, like to establish what these characters were going to be like on screen.
Well, I mean, it showed though, because their chemistry was amazing. Like I felt as though they knew one another for years and have worked together for years. And that came, I mean, that's a testimony. Yeah, see, look, yeah, they taking the credit for that. They deserve it.
Well, no, I think, you know, what Adam's talking about, I think, you know, where we got really, really lucky. Jeez, excuse me, my allergies are like terrible today. Where we got really lucky, which doesn't happen on most films, is we had a really good chunk of time before we started shooting where we got to rehearse, we got to hang out, we got to spend a lot of time together. So it was either, you know, we were talking with Adam, and by rehearsal, it was more like, hey, let's just get to know each other. Let's talk music. Let's just hang out. Let's talk these characters. You know, we didn't beat scenes to death or anything like that. It was more like, you know, we showed up and Adam took me and Emily out to grab some food like immediately, and we all just hung out. And then, I mean, a lot of our hangout time also kind of bizarrely revolved around eating. Like we would go out and we would have these meals together, and, you know, and you get to know each other over the table, kind of like, you know, it fits the theme of the movie. But if we weren't with Adam, me and Emily were together, you know, and we were hanging out, and like Adam said, the music was such an important thing, you know, to get into the vibe and to kind of feel the rhythm of things. And by the time we finally got to set, we had genuinely spent so much time together that it was like we were just ready to go. And then me and Emily, I mean, I'm not to speak for you, Emily, but I think, you know, by that time we absolutely trust, not that we didn't trust Adam before, but it was like, we're in great hands. Let's just rock and roll. Because I think with characters like these in a film like this, if you're not 100% comfortable, it's hard to 100% go where we needed to go for this. You know, if people weren't on board to play the roles that, you know, the way they played them, and not even just for us, you know, like Patty's parents and, you know, things like that, like everybody had to commit 100%. So there was just this really good vibe on set, and, you know, we had already built such a good thing by the time we got to set that we were just ready to ride.
Oh, yeah, good.
I think these two boys are incredibly collaborative artists, and it's something that I think is missing a lot in the industry. I think like there needs to be a bit more of an appreciation for everybody's broader role in a film. And I think I don't know. I think it's a testament to how Adam writes and approaches everything he does, and how Kyle,
Totally.
that immediately I felt very like safe and respected, and like, okay, we can go there together, because these there's a lot of mutual respect, I guess, from the
Yes,
get-go.
and
You
not
didn't
to
feel
cut
like
you off, but likewise for Emily too. You know, if you feel that, there was always a thing, especially with, sorry, not to jump on you, Emily, but like,
No, I'm
you know,
done.
some of these scenes, like you're talking about the chemistry and these things that are there. There was a thing where sometimes you work with some people and you have to constantly worry if somebody's okay, constantly worry if like, oh, is that, you know, not that it's always good to ask permission. It's always good to, you know, make sure people's comfort levels are being respected and things like that. But me and Emily got to a point where it was like, I'm game if you're game. And it was always like, let's just go. Like, whatever you want to do, I'm cool with. And it was vice versa, that it really allowed us to push these scenes to a place that, to the place that you got to see. You know, it was because there was a mutual respect. It was because there was such a trust between me and her as actors, and a trust in Adam as our director. Like, we could really push this thing.
But you could tell it came off on screen well. So, you know, so kudos to you guys. And Emily,
Thanks, Adam, I didn't mean to cut you off, dude. Sorry.
No,
Or Emily.
to echo what Emily was saying, like, you know, just contrasting where you feel like a line item in a budget. That's never a really great place to be as an actor, where you're a line item.
Right.
So it's a family affair, you know, and
Yeah.
certainly this project was not an easy one. It took a lot of time to get off the ground, and you know, we had to fight every step of the way to make it. And it's, you know, sometimes it's really ridiculous what you have to do, but you do it because it's art, and it's your art, and it's worth it. It's worth the fight, you know?
Yeah. Emily, I'm gonna call, if you don't mind, because I'm gonna call you M, if you don't mind. And the reason why, because I feel like family, because the only people who you would dance like that in front of is family or your best friend. Like, you're not dancing like that in front of anyone else. So I feel like we cousins, okay?
Oh,
So,
I love you, Ty. Thank you. We're cousins.
that dancing though, man.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I watched that the first time. It was like,
yo, I can't, you know what? Let me go through these questions.
Wait, hold on. It's when she kicks the shorts towards the camera, and they fly past, and then jumps on the bed, revealing under her American flag shirt, it's like purple and gold underwear. You know,
insane. It's so good.
Happening.
I'm telling you, man. Yo, y'all have to see this film. Y'all have to see this film. I digress. But M, it kind of sounds good too. M, you went to LaGuardia High School, and actually, I used to hang out around there. I went to Norman Thomas High School.
Oh my God!
Avenue, but my girlfriend, my daughter's, later my daughter's mom, she went there when Jennifer Aniston was there, Marlon Wayans was there doing that. She's part of that class.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she graduated 89. She graduated 89. No, she graduated in 90. So she was part of them. And
that's iconic.
Yeah, and so, amazing school. Obviously you're well trained. You got to this point. You had your Broadway start, and guys, Emily plays the role once again as Patty. An amazing performance. So let us know how you got involved, and also tell us what your favorite scene was, because I'm gonna share what my favorite scene was. So tell me what yours was.
I love that. Thanks, Ty. I think I'm overwhelmed by your love. Thank you. This movie is so personal, I think, for us, and it's so personal for me because Patty is very much like a kind of fictionalized version of who I am and who I was at a time in my life when I was really down and didn't have a lot of love and support and didn't know my own value and my own worth and what I could give to the world. And so to kind of go back to that part of my life and make her the hero in the end is incredibly cathartic, and I think like heals a lot of wounds for me personally. And like figuring out how to love myself and for who I am genuinely as a person. This movie changed my life. But then hearing people like you talk about it and feel such a connection to it and like feel that vulnerability and that weirdness and that pain is just like, it really fills my heart, and it's why I do this, and it's why I want to be an actor. I think like it's all about humanity, right? And if we can see the humanity in lots of different people, it's really exciting. So I immediately saw that in the script with Adam. I just saw like a chance to really bring a really unique character to life. I don't think that this kind of character is really celebrated as the romantic lead very often. And so that was really intriguing to me too. So when I read the script, I was just really excited. And it was also kind of pitched to me as like a Napoleon Dynamite style comedy, which I grew up on that stuff, you know, like watching like Jack Black and like Jim Carrey and all these like really wild stylized actors. And like Lily Tomlin and even though the comedy wasn't something we really talked about, we were really kind of rooted in the reality of these two characters and their situation and their pain a lot of the time. It was obviously there, and to be able to play with that was really exciting. I just love this movie.
I did love your dancing though, but your singing was great. Like one of my favorite scenes, and I need to answer this too. One of my favorite scenes, I have many favorite scenes. It's just that kind of movie. And I also make reference to Napoleon Dynamite as well. So I'm glad you said that. I'm right there. I have it in my notes. It's right here. It's in here. You know, for me, it's like when you were singing in the bedroom, like I caught a chill, because I'm you know, you could really sing, and the sound of it and that beat that was made, it was a good song, and you actually stuck the landing. As you know, I'm thinking that means your album coming out, like, you know, you did a good job with the singing. So
Thanks, Ty.
yeah, it was just good. It was all around good. But so that was one of my favorite scenes. Another favorite scene that you were in was at the end, after you punched the girl in the face and you got the bus. And you put the mask on, you start doing your dance again, your awkward dance. So I was like, all right. I said, yo, you know what? This and to Adam, you know, you ended it well. That was an amazing ending. And the opening scene was one of my favorites too. When Kyle was like, you know, suffering. I like suffrage. I don't know why I like suffrage.
It was that rusty iceberg lettuce and that roast beef, brother. That roast beef was, oh, it had like a shine to it. It had like it was, I don't even know if that was, did you actually eat that? I can't remember. You know, you didn't ever put it in your mouth. It was bad. It was bad, dude. I think it looked like it was past.
It looked like it was covered in like a oil slick. You know, like when like it's a hot summer day and you spray like your hose on the fucking sidewalk. It looked like that across the whole thing.
You're like, you gotta eat that roast beef. It's got a great shine to it. This roast beef really, it's good and shiny. Why
don't you box that up for me? I'm gonna eat that later.
Yeah.
So Emily, what was your favorite scene? If you could name one besides kissing on Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Another one, a different one.
I really love the scene in the diner.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Me too.
It's like the first time that like I think we really see like you know, Simon's been picking on Patty.
You're so cute in the diner though.
That's why.
But like strong. When
you were standing up in front and y'all ordered and y'all were just like,
yeah. I love that. I love that
too.
Yeah.
But the one where we finally kiss.
Yeah.
Because Simon's been picking on Patty and pushing her and poking her the whole time, and finally she pokes him back, and it's so satisfying. I think it's like kind of the first time that Patty really like finds her strength, you know, and it's so fun. The whole like making out with her own brother thing, like that's such a funny joke.
Yeah, the joke.
But there's that cool connection too, where like you watch them switch places for a second, which I think is cool. Where you realize like it's that moment where they cross over, and you're like, these people really are much more similar than you know people originally give him credit for. Where it's like she's dishing it the way he usually does, and then he comes into her world with the you need to take it down a notch. And I think it's such a cool like bonding moment for the two of them. And just like, it's such a fucking weird scene where like, I'm like eating like a slob, like she's like, come kiss me. I'm like licking shit off my hands. And then like I come over to her and
The makeup artist.
And then the
He
makeup,
freshened
but
up
then the
between the
makeout,
takes.
but then, yeah, freshened.
He
But then the
freshened up.
makeout is like so aggressive and like
No doubt.
it's
It was.
so like the scene is so bizarre, but so much fun. And honestly, that was one of my favorite parts of the whole first screening at Sundance was when that happened. Everybody like went absolutely bananas. Like when Patty was like,
they stood up.
yeah,
and clapped
it was so cool.
Yeah.
When Patty said, "I'm just fucking with you," everybody lost it. It was so fun.
That was
Yeah.
nice.
I love that scene.
The makeup
so
artist
much.
when we were shooting that had to keep wiping down my glasses because I was just like covered in burger grease.
In Kyle's gross burger grease.
Yeah.
On your
Always
like,
grease.
it was all
God.
the take that
I love it, man. I love it, man.
the take that I used was the best complete take. The take before it was all the way up until like almost the end, like flawless. There's no grease or anything on her glasses, but it cut off. Like it ran out of a cart.
Oh no!
So I used the next best one, which was the one that I never saw the end of the other one, but I loved that was one of the. It's a fun part of the script, but when you actually get to the film and her delivery and then his follow-up delivery, that it's way better than on the page. Like just in
We're gonna have to have some.
She's being so sweet and coy, and Simon's just such a scumbag, and like in that moment eating, and it's I don't know, it's fun. I love it. What were you gonna say, Emily? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Em,
Oh no, I was just gonna say we have to do some behind the scenes stuff when this movie comes out.
Oh yeah.
Hey Kyle,
yeah, man.
You obviously had an amazing performance, just like Emily had, and basically what y'all provided Adam as a director and writer is a dream. Y'all provided him his dream. Like that's what any director and writer wants to stick the landing, is having their stars to really just like take over the role. And you have a lot of TV experience, right, and independent film experience as well. And for me, like when I watch Welcome to Happiness, and I'm gonna step away from from Dinner in America, but when I watch Welcome to Happiness, man, you have this ability to disappear into a role.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, like you become unrecognizable. So like I switched back to Dinner in America. But this role, dude is very intense, right? He's a punk rocker, he's very intense. Everything he does is intense.
Yeah.
If the cigarette is messed up, and he just rip it apart and throw it on the ground, like coming out of so when you do that, like was there anything about Simon's character that attracted you to it? And also, is there anything about that character that resonates with you? Like Em said, Patty has some similarities to who she, went through, who she used to be. Like, is there any connection?
Yeah, actually, Simon's probably closer to me than a lot of things I've played. At least in like my, teens and 20s and stuff. I was like a kind of gutter rat skater kid who listened to punk and hardcore music, and I loved that scene, and I kind of grew up in that scene, and so that was familiar to me. I was not somebody who has never been in a mosh pit before. You know what I mean? Like, I've been to shows where you wear a white t-shirt and you come out wearing other people's blood, sort of thing. So like that world was like something that I like. I like that adrenaline. I like that, like you're talking about the rhythm, like that beat, that heartbeat, that pumping thing. Like I like that. For me, that's like, I'll get in the car and I'll blast like hardcore music as loud as I can and just drive around, just because I still need to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I have since calmed down.
Had kids.
I've had kids. But no, there was that familiar thing to me. There was that rebellious thing. We were stealing beer from people's garages on weekends after we went skateboarding all day, and we would break in places to skate, and it was like, it was fun. It was kind of fun to like go back to that a little bit, but at the same time, it's like but I was never that hyper aggressive. I was always like a fun loving guy. Like, you know, I just liked getting in trouble.
I believe that.
I just liked getting in trouble, you know? So like, so putting Simon on was hard. I mean, being at an 11 all day is exhausting. It is hard. It takes a physical thing out of you, but it was one of those things where it's like everybody was so committed and you want to do it, and it's the only way to do it for a film like this. It's either you're all in or get the fuck out of the way, you know? And I think that applies to Simon. I think that applies to Emily playing Patty. Yeah, I mean, everybody came all day, but that also makes it a lot easier because, you know, it helps you stay in that world when somebody else is 100% committed across from you, because it just gives you such room to play.
But Patty needed that though. Patty what? Patty needed you. Patty needed
100%. I mean, there's this interesting crossover where you know those diagrams where it's like two circles and they like meet in the middle and it's some of the same and then what's different. Like
homeschooling right now, are you?
That's the V diagram, The V diagram. I remember that.
Yeah, clearly I'm exceeding. You know the circle thing? But no, I think there's a really nice crossover between Simon and Patty, but those sides where they don't meet in the middle, that's what he needs from her and that's what she needs from him. Yes. You know, and in the end they're really good for each other. But I think the coolest thing about this and what I loved about this from the beginning is this isn't like some white knight riding in story to save the day, you know, the hero, whatever. It's like, it's these two misfits that never have to apologize for who they are. By the end of the movie, you never change who they are. They're like authentically themselves the whole time. Mm-hmm. You know, they never apologize for being, I never apologize for being Simon. Patty never apologizes for being Patty. Right. You know, it's like, but we give each other what we need, and we find this understanding in each other, you know, and I think there's something really special and really, really cool about that, you know, and that's really what was exciting to play. Kind of like how Emily was saying, like, you don't see a character like this represented as like the love interest. Mm-hmm. Right. You know, it's like, these are these offbeat characters, but it's like, but in reality, more people are going to relate to two people like this than they will to, like, you know, the superheroes who are like ripped to bejesus and fly, and you know, it's
ripped to bejesus.
Like, look at it analyze those bodies, like just ripped.
Yeah,
I've been in the gym ripped to bejesus.
No, but I mean, you know, people obviously will relate to superheroes in a way, but it's like, I just mean, like, these are real people, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's why, like,
I don't know where I was going with any of that.
Gallner basically will cash those Marvel checks all day, every day. Just keep coming.
I will 100%. If you're hearing this and you want me, I'm in.
Hey, Adam, I really think that you do have a cult classic here. You know, I know some people make movies to try to be a blockbuster.
Yeah.
And so forth, whatever, you know, whatever the case, if you get that kind of success, great. But I think, depending on how, you know, it's marketed,
right,
and get in front of people to see it, once they see it, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a cult classic, man. The people have to see it.
I think so too. I mean, that's kind of what I've always felt about this film, is that it fits that kind of niche of, like, you know, cult classic. If you do it right, you have something that people want to watch over and over again for many years. I think also too, because there's no phones, there's no this, there's no that. No, it has a timeless quality. It could be yesterday or 25 years ago. You can't really tell. Right. It's indistinguishable. So it just exists as a story, and it exists as its own little snow globe, if you will.
Where did you film at? Where did you guys film?
Detroit.
Why Detroit? I know the mid. Oh, so Emily, you live in Detroit now or something?
No, I
Oh,
just
you
love
didn't
know?
it so much.
Yeah,
we
The
had a
good
movie
set.
is like made in Detroit in such a deep way. Like all, like a bunch of the extras and all the background actors like are just people who walked up off the street. Like the
Okay.
peppermint woman on the bus. Can you
Yes.
tell that story, Adam or Kyle?
Surely, yeah. The producers
Oh,
were having a hard.
the one who sat next to Kyle, and
Yeah.
he's like, yo, what the, all this room?
Are
all
you
this
fucking
space.
kidding me? Yeah.
She just
Yeah,
walked.
yeah.
she was like, "Can I be in your movie or something?" And we were
She
like,
was
"Yeah."
going to swim. We were filming outside like the YMCA, and she was coming to swim that day.
Yeah.
Because she was
Yeah.
like coming to like work out, do her swimming and whatever. And then Ross was like, "Would you like to be in a movie?" She was like, "Okay."
The producers
Or
were having a
something,
hard
right?
time. They were having a hard time finding me an elderly woman for the scene, and I'm like, "Why is it hard to find an elderly woman? I don't understand. Like, can't we just cast an elderly woman? Like, well, it's harder than you think." You know, they were like, somebody was giving me a line about it being really hard, and I'm like, and then there was all these people walking, and then one of the other producers was like, "Look at all these women walking in here," you know, and went up.
Yeah, it's like, look, there's an old lady, there's an elderly woman. Grab her.
And one of the producers was like, you know, would you be interested in being in a movie? She's like, well, I'm going to go for a swim, but that's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to be in a movie. So she did her swim, went and got her hair done, and then came back, and boom.
She did great.
She's great. She was the
like,
best.
It was just so normal for her to sit on an empty bus next to the only person in the scene.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
I'm the one that lives in Detroit now. So we moved here a couple years ago. So we are now officially Michiganders. So I live outside of Detroit in Oakland County.
Okay, cool. So why did Kyle get beat up though? So do you want to show Kyle's character get beat up so he could get his revenge along with Patty? Was that done with intent? Well,
yeah, of course.
Yes,
Isn't it great? I love.
I thought Kyle would fight though. I thought that he was so intense, man. I was like, oh, Kyle's gonna beat the hell out of these.
Yeah, of course. But real life,
in
real life, these two jock guys would have kicked the shit out of him. In real life, the two jocks just kicked the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. I love that it's handled in just a couple shots too. I mean, they just kick the shit out of him. He doesn't even have a chance. He's all tough up in their face, and then the next thing, he is just completely like the uppercut's brutal the way he snaps back.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity can be really funny.
Yeah, I know. True.
But we get our revenge in the end.
I would argue that the whole cat fuckers sequence is one of my favorites of the film. The build up to
it was
the rhythm of that, from what you're saying, when he gets his ass kicked, right, and then the bus pulls away and leaves the frame, and he's still laying there.
The long shot.
Yeah,
nice and uncomfortable.
Nice.
And then we go immediately into that, tighter on him walking, and she's trailing behind him, and then it's like that whole really fast sequence.
You mean where she's leading with her head? That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep him up. She's like walking like a wind is blowing the back of her head. She's leaning completely forward. It's amazing. I watched it. I was like, how are you even walking like that?
That long shot was amazing. But what also made it was the fact that M did not even move. She just stayed looking down at him like, yo, are you gonna get up, or are you out on the count? Like, what is happening right now?
She's always on standby with whatever Simon's up to. She's on standby, like waiting for the next decision to be made for her. You know?
Exactly.
So funny.
So basically, you received a lot of news since you was in the miseducation of Cameron Post, at Sundance and everything. So how and the same is happening now after Sundance as well. So how are you handling the route of this film success for you? There's almost back to back. It's 2 years ago, right? I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, two or three. Yeah, it's really incredibly exciting. I mean, obviously the pandemic and the social movements happening in our world are really affecting kind of the way I think about art. And I'm very lucky that I've done a lot of projects that I think have something to say and something to give, including Miseducation of Cameron Post and including this movie that is really positive. But with everything going on and in the wake of everything, I think I'm really starting to rethink why we make what we make. And I think, you know, with success comes a lot of responsibility, and I'm really looking forward to making more stuff that has more to say.
I got you. So Kyle, you was kissing on Emily. That's been established. So we done. We passed that. But you also with Leah Thompson.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So that was big. That was big, my brother. That was big. So
it was not lost on me. Let's just.
Yeah. So I am interested. You know, a lot of people are always interested in when you have a married person and they have these like romantic scenes.
Yeah.
How does it handle respectfully? And you know, it's a craft. So
it really depends. I'm gonna put this out there though. I would just like to say, you know, I was joking a second ago, but Leah is the coolest. And it's you go into these scenes and you never know what to expect. And no joke, Leah, as right before we started, grabbed my hands, put them up top and down below, and went, there you go.
There you go.
Go for it.
Break the ice.
And she was like, just go. And I was like, that okay. You know, it's like because it's strange, you know, it's these intimate moments with people where you haven't like earned intimacy, you know what I mean? Like it's not like you've dated somebody, it's not like you've spent time and you've earned a kiss, you know what I mean? So it can be strange. I'm very lucky that my wife, when things like that happens, you know, I come home and it's not like, so how was work? You know, it's more like how was it? It's like great. She's like, great. So I'm very lucky that I have a very understanding wife. You know, Leah's been in it for a long time. And as long as everybody keeps it professional, and a scene like that too, it's supposed to be fun. And that's really what it was. It was actually just like fun, and we would laugh about it. And it was cool. It was cool because I was nervous. I mean, I absolutely know who she is, you know what I mean? So I was like, holy
well, and there's a lot of coverage on it too. It's not something.
We shot it for like a day and a half.
I know. I mean, because we started it on one day. It was like the end of, we were going to be in the house for 2 days. Yeah. And we started that scene at the very end of our first day. And so we had that, and then we were going to flip. So we came back to there and then flipped the side back into the dining room. But so it was kind of, it was on 2 days, and it was like, I mean, it was like, I would say that you probably did the actions, you went through it probably 20 times at least. More. Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy, but you know, where this one was great, it was like, and it's not just Leah, it's between Leah and Emily, like, you know, the doors were open, the permission was given, there weren't walls up, and it just allowed everybody to play and to go where it needed to go. You know, like me and Emily kissing in the diner. I mean, that I think why part of that works is that kiss is so aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like these two are like really eating each other alive kind of, and you're kind of taken aback, like, whoa, you know, but me and Emily, that was what we were going to do, you know, and that door was open. It was allowed, and we felt comfortable. It was the same thing with Leah. Leah immediately was like, you know, we both knew what the scene needed to be, and she was like, go for it, man. Let's just go. You know, and that
sorry.
That makes it fun. No, but that, you know, that helps a lot. Go ahead, Emily. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I think that people think, like, in their minds when they see like a sexy shoot or a sexy scene getting shot, they think like it's like must be the sexiest thing in the world, but actually there's like someone standing over you with a boom and makeup right there to like wash your burger face, you know. It's so technical.
It's so ridiculous. I had a thing I did that long ago where I had 3 people around me and I'm laying on my back and they're literally adjusting this girl's hand to be like, can you do it? It needs to look more like a hand job. It needs to be a little more, but the angle of it for the camera has to be more like this. And you're just sitting there like, oh my God.
A piece of meat. Happening? You're a piece of meat.
Yeah. Like, it's so bizarre that it's like Emily said, it's not like it's this sexy, you know,
well,
Emily, an overshare. Em, you look like you're about
Emily,
to...
we had...
No!
I mean, what was it like for you, Emily? We tried to make it comfortable. We had the scene in the bedroom, so it's like you tried
That was actually really great, Adam, and I'm glad you bring that up. And Ty, I want to thank you for asking that question, because I do think it's something that is really, it's good that we all talk about this kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
that scene is different because I think, you know, it was just me, and it was me and Adam and JP, and I think like maybe one other person in the room, or was it just the three of us?
Probably John, but he probably had his back. He probably, you know, he was probably just kind of keeping everybody quiet and keeping, it wasn't very many people in there. So
yeah. And so that, I feel like, what a strange thing to do, like masturbate on screen, but like I could actually do something that felt authentic to a young woman realizing her sexuality, because I had such amazing respect from JP and Adam and everybody else on set who was present.
So, yeah, I think that's crucial, man. That, like, making everybody feel comfortable, feel safe. You know, it's really, really important. That's why a lot of stuff now has intimacy coordinators, which I think is a good move. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of bouncing off of that, but yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's important stuff to talk about.
All right. And so also, like, Adam or anyone, but was there anything significantly altered, like, by Kyle and Emily, you know, when they took on the script, you know, because this is obviously you guys work well together, so it's a collaborative effort, you know, at some point, you know, your vision, your words, but was there anything that changed?
To paraphrase Truffaut, there's the film that you write, the film that you shoot, and the film that you edit. And they're all different films. You know, there's the film on paper, what it looks like and what it feels like, and then you cast it, and you bring Emily and Kyle in, and then their energy gets involved, and their ideas get involved, and it becomes a compromise of what you had in your mind with what the people that you've cast now and what they're doing. Because to sit there and to nitpick people and to, you know, you have to really trust your ropes. You have to trust your casting decisions and live and die by those decisions. And I think to try to alter somebody or modify somebody different than what they're inherently bringing to the table is just a bad call. I mean, yes, you can do that, but, you know, I want a collaboration each time I'm working with people. So you want to bring in people that you know are going to do the work, bring their touch to it. And then here's the really crazy thing: you do all of this, you get it all out, you know, the production does, but then you have to cut the film. And that's an entirely different thing. Now you can control rhythm, you can control timing, you can control where things land. You can affect the performances by, you know, a sound on an edit. Like, there's so many different things, ways to manipulate the frame and what's happening. So it becomes a part of it. Then you have this whole other world that you're responsible for as well. So you have to make decisions sometimes. You know, it's definitely chess, not checkers. You're making decisions that are going to be a ripple effect and affect the movie in a different way. Like, even a line or two here or there, it's like a ripple effect that affects it all the way to the end. I mean, it's really, and you know, so I do a lot of things when I get to editorial. I'll do a lot of things where my biggest thing is watching. Once I get kind of the fine cut territory, I kill the sound and I watch the film visually without any sound. And I watch it like I would over somebody's shoulder on a plane. You know, is this conveying the information to me? Like, because if a film, when a film is working, you can watch it with no sound and visually it will work. Same as turning the picture off and just listening to the audio, like a radio play. Are things falling in the right spot? It comes down to milliseconds. It comes down to frames and adjusting frames, both visually and for timing. So, you know, picture off, I'm figuring out timing, and then, you know, picture on, sound off, I'm adjusting what needs to be and where, because you can actually feel it, you know, very easily that way when you're fine tuning.
So Emily and or Kyle, can you let me know about the music, like the process, like, you know, how was it created? Because from my understanding, you co-wrote with Adam, I guess the main song, right? Or something.
The Watermelon song.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So can you explain that process? Like, you know, how did that kind of come about?
Yeah. Adam and I, before we met, on set, on location, had talked a bunch, and I had written some sort of like stream of consciousness Patty poetry before we got there. And then I think it was like the second or third day, Adam and I sat down and we looked through the poetry, and we just kind of had an afternoon together that was like sort of like the most wholesome, amazing, just two people getting together to write a song experience I've ever had, where literally we just sat across from each other and went through the lyrics, and he had an acoustic and Kyle was there, and we all just sort of like hung out. And we recorded it, Adam, that day, or no, we recorded
we recorded like just a demo, like a temp like thing for overnight, so I could just like really like hear it too, and Emily could hear it. And then the next day we laid down everything for real, so we did just like drums, bass, and guitar really fast, and then she did 2 takes of the vocals, and what you hear in the film is take 2.
Is that going to be? Is the music going to be available to?
Well, yeah, when we get everything dialed and figured out, 100%. I mean, I love the soundtrack, and I think there's a lot. It's a lot of fun, and yes, I'll be more than happy to share that with.
I'm going to get it. Believe that. And Kyle, your movements, Kyle, like when you was performing, near the end, before the character, before the cops came in, you were your performance and your movement, man, was like you were in a band one time, or did you just watch like, okay, how to do that because it was natural?
Yeah, I've always kind of had, I would have loved to have been in it. I would have loved to have been in a punk band growing up. Part of me still wishes I was in a punk band. So, I grew up watching videos and live performances and, things like that. And from going to shows, like there's an attitude, there's a thing, there's that energy to it. And I actually was lucky enough. The band who did the music is called Disco Assault.
Okay.
They're from Windsor, and they actually came down and played a show in Detroit, and they brought me up, and I got to play a song with them.
Oh, okay. I knew it was something. All right, good.
I actually got to try it out.
It makes sense. It makes all the sense now. Okay.
Yeah.
And they introduced him as Simon from Psyop.
And it was cool. It was great. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I also spent time in my Airbnb, like in front of a mirror, like being like, "What about this? What about this?
The truth comes out. The truth comes out."
Right. But I also, I grew up in my room too, doing that same thing, like pretending you were like,
Yeah.
So it was fun to actually put it on, like get to like do it for real with a band behind you, and it was a little bit of like my teenage dream coming true. It was cool.
Hey, Ty.
Yes,
you know how he was talking about those super shredded superheroes. Well, he was pretty super shredded in that.
I was going to say that. No, I was going to say that. I was waiting for Kyle to finish. So I was going to tell. I'm glad. I was like, look, the lady's going to love him. The ladies gonna love him at the end. They're gonna love him. So y'all gotta watch it, ladies. Y'all gotta watch it. Watch the movie.
I love him, Ty. I've seen it more than anyone. I'm seeing it all the time. Just watching that scene over and over.
He's doing push-ups. He do a lot of push-ups. That guy.
Yeah. I would go home. I would work out every night, and I would get back. But my whole goal was like, I wasn't eating a lot. Me and Emily would eat. We would make like steak dinners and stuff over the weekend and things like that. But my whole goal physically was like, I want that like young Rollins body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want kind of that thing. So that's sort of what I was going for physically.
Yeah, but my people didn't see it. I made sure my people didn't see it. She went to sleep. She didn't see the end. I was good.
You can't.
You also did me a solid and look from above. That happens too, man.
Hey, Adam, you had Ben Stiller as one of the producers. I should have opened up with that because that's big. That's big, right? So
Sure.
How did you what was the connection? How you get Ben Stiller and his company, his partner involved, with the project?
Yeah, Ross Putman, one of our producers, had gotten it through their development exec. Andy Campagna was the exec at the time, and she got it to Nikki Weinstock, as Ben's partner there, and they just thought it was this really spiky, fun, you know, original idea, and they wanted to help us with it. And who's going to turn that down? No, they've been amazing this whole time. And you know, I think as far as like helping shepherd this project, having a name like that you can, you know, utilize and whether it comes for casting and helping to get the project cast right away, or just, you know, all the other connections that come with it. That's been really, really valuable to have them shepherding this, and just making sure that, and the other thing that's been really cool about it is that, you know, they just believed in this film, and like especially for Nicky, it was like his little baby, and they want to see it do well. And everyone's been just so patient. I mean, especially in COVID, you know, like it's been hard for us because we had so many plans to, and this is one of those films, because you were there, you saw it, like it does really well in theaters with a group of people. It's really rowdy and fun, and you know, so this part's hard to swallow a little bit, that we don't get to, like, I would love to spend more time with Emily and Kyle at events and stuff doing, you know, that, because we have a really good bond, and we have just a lot of fun when we're together. So,
you know, I wanted to share with the audience, because I showed you guys already when we first, but I want to let the audience know, those who are viewing this, to know how much a fan I am of this film. And like, you know, here's my ticket from Park City, Utah. Okay, I need y'all to understand. I could not. Okay, when this was organized, this discussion for the Virginia Film Festival, I could not go to Park City, Utah, and find this on the ground. Okay, this was actually mine, and I kept it because I love the film that much. And I need you guys to watch this film and make your own decisions about it. It's an amazing film, amazing acting, amazing writing, the direction, the shot choices. I mean, the cinematography, everything was just on point. Like, it was just really top-notch stuff. And to see Emily and Kyle take those star roles and really like made it their own is something to be said by some amazing talent. And I can't speak any more about it as far as, you know, what it did for me as far as watching it in Park City. It left an everlasting impression. And that's why I said earlier, you have a cult classic here, Adam. So I know you're on to the next thing. I see all those either storyboards or shot lists or whatever the heck behind you. So I know you're on to the next thing, man. And that's just how the system goes. And I get it. But man, whatever, you know, we showing it here at the Virginia Film Festival. We're proud to show it, and we are so happy that you guys took the time out of your day. But I do have to ask one more question before I let you guys go, because I didn't ask this. But what inspired the story? Like, how did the story come together? And were any of the characters based on anyone real, like in your life, or someone that you may have seen at a bus stop, or, you know, something?
No, for me, it's easy. This film came out of writer's block. When I'm blocked with things, I'll sketch anything. And the Simon character came out of like a sketch that I did in 2006. I wrote the whole opening of the film, and then for a few years I had a project called Skeggs that was about this punk kid that was selling his body to science to pay for his albums, and I wasn't able to figure out what I wanted to do with it. And then I had another sketch I was working on called Dinner in America, and it was about this sort of nuclear Midwestern family that you see in the film, the Patty's family. And Patty was a bit different. It was more high school, and this is a few years after high school for Patty. And at a certain point, I thought, well, what if I integrated in the Simon character from Kicks? What if he came and sort of hijacked this family, and we do a thing where he disrupts life in this little family and changes them in some way, type of thing? And that worked together. For me, I was able to see that right away. So my point with that is both of these, this film really came together from two ideas that would not have happened if I were lazy and just didn't want to go sit down and just write anything. So they marinated for many, many years, almost a decade before I did something with them together. So that's just a testament to, like, if you have an idea for something, it's a seed. Take your seed and put it in your garden, and it's time to grow it. But it may not ever do anything. One day you may go out and there's an acorn squash sitting there, and you're just like, well, it's wonderful, you know, it's time to have a meal. So, so this is that. It's a seed that turned into a meal.
You know, you make me feel real good by saying that, because, you know, I wrote a script. I started writing a script like 13 years ago, and I just picked it up maybe 14 months ago, and just enrolled it, and I'm actually going to shoot that soon. And I think writers, I think writers need to know that, like that. Don't get rid of anything.
No, don't get rid of it.
Yeah, don't get rid of anything.
It might work for something else.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's great advice.
Yeah,
because this is, you know, at the Virginia Film Festival, I know that we have aspiring filmmakers watching this. We actually have in Charlottesville, Virginia, we actually have like a student filmmaking type of entity called Lighthouse Studios, and so I know people are watching this who are not just you know, viewers. You know, they are viewers with, you know, trying to get some jewels from you guys, and you guys are dropping some really good knowledge. So thank you for that. It's very motivating for people to be able to know, oh, hey, he was working on this and that, and then it just came together. That's amazing.
I'll leave you with my biggest advice.
Yes,
is do the work. Know your craft and do the work. Like, focus on the work. Always be doing the work. Like nothing else, just the work. Once you master the work, you can worry about other things, but do the work. And the other big rule is what? What, Emily? What's my other big rule?
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dickhead.
That was Patty. that was Patty that just said that. Yo, that was.
Yeah. Like,
Yo,
there's nothing worse than. There's nothing worse than being a shithead. There's nothing worse than it in this business. And I guarantee you, as I always say, I guarantee you, the production assistant that you're shitty to when you have a shitty attitude, that production assistant will definitely be running a production company, or you'll be sitting across from that production assistant at a studio. They will be the exec in charge or whatever. So they will remember your face. They will absolutely remember you. Yes.
Oh, and be on time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boo, Emily.
Well, look, I can't even end on a better note than that. So thank you so much, guys, for coming out to the Virginia Film Festival, allowing us to screen your amazing project, your film. We wish you the best for everything, what the film is going to achieve, and you know, just keep on performing, keep on working. I'm a fan, Kyle. You know, Emily, Adam, I'm a fan myself. Your fan base is gonna grow even more because of this film. I look forward to seeing more work from you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. And good luck with your shoot, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna try.
I just wanted to say again, thank you for letting me know that you were at that screening, because now I'm able to put two and two together. Now, you have to remember, that was totally organic when I said you said something in the screening.
Yeah.
Because I remember it, and that meant a lot to me, and I wouldn't have brought it up if I hadn't. But I did not have a face, because I was telling, Ty was the guy that he spoke. He was one of the first people to speak at the Prospector screening. But like I said, we have lights in our face, and we're backlit. Everybody's backlit to us. We can't see. I could just kind of see you up there. And
crazy, man.
That meant so much to me, because like I said, you're so vulnerable. You go through all this press and all this shit, and then you're just, people are watching your film. And like for months, I was the only person that had seen the film. Like up until 10 days before that screening, dude. 10 days.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel good that you remember.
It's just proof that a voice, a random voice out of the ether speaking to you sometimes, it can do. And I've wondered about you. It's so cool that I'm meeting you and seeing you. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because that meant a lot to me. And now I get to put a face to it, because you were backlit before, I guess you were back. No, you were not backlit. Well, you were kind of backlit, but I had lights in my eyes.
Yeah. So well, you know what? Everyone in Charlottesville, my friends, people on Facebook. Well, I didn't let people know for sure, like exactly who, because I wanted to, you know, get the surprise out. But people know, my friends know how happy and how excited I am to moderate this discussion.
Yeah.
Like they all know, they're like, oh wow, like congratulations, that's good. Blah, blah, blah. 'Cause they know how much I like the film.
Well, thank you for your kind words at that screening, because it meant more to me than you'll really know at that time. I was just very vulnerable, and like you feel a lot going through your head and your mind, and you have it's such a wide range of emotions at something like that. So
thank you, guys.
Appreciate that, and I've been thinking about you since the Prospector screening, and
I appreciate it.
Now I know what you look like. So.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And
Thank
Emily,
you,
you're welcome.
Thanks,
Kyle, thank you so much. And Emily, keep dancing no matter what happens. Yeah, just like that. Yep, do all that crazy.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.
All right, thanks. Later,
All right.
guys.